watching my temperature climb on my laptop. Okay, before we go into Photoshop, what I'm going to show you is another feature that Illustrator does, or does do, is the 3D filter effect, I should say. Now, I could try to 3D this, but there is way too many points to 3D this real quickly and show you. If you've got the patience and the time to wait for this stuff to render out in 3D, great, go for it. I'm just going to show you actually with this stuff down here. What I'm going to do is make a copy of this, and I'm just going to paste it anywhere else. I'm going to move that over to the side. I'm going to turn it black just so I can see it. And now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to type, create outlines. Why do I create outlines? Because I can only do a 3D effect if it's all in vector. Editable type does not work. So if I go to extrude and bevel, you'll see I get this nice information window, dialog box pop up, and I can actually click on the preview button, which is like what I like to do first. Okay, and right off the bat you'll see that it gives me a preview. Okay, I can rotate this back and forth and around, and the preview updates itself in real time. Okay, there are rotations I can hit: the front, the back, off axis front. Okay, isometric, which is kind of like drafting view sort of thing, or CAD view. 3D type is super cool sometimes. Personally, I think it's been done to death, just because back in the day it was very rare, so when someone did do it, it was really nice to see. But now anyone can do it, and it's usually done poorly. So just be wary of that if you choose to do it. One of the cool things is that you can switch the perspective, so you can actually change the perspective, which distorts this image. And actually I'm going to cancel that for a second, and I'm going to zoom in and actually show you hardcore what this thing looks like. So I go back to 3D, extrude and bevel. Okay, right, hit the preview, pow. Now we can see what we're talking about. I'm just going to screw this over. So again, I can rotate this around. Okay, it's going to update it. It's going to do whatever. If I go OK, okay, notice that just like in the Pathfinder stuff, the actual shape of the original type is still there. That's because we have to expand it like we did with the Pathfinder stuff. So you want to expand appearance, pow, done. Now, if I go to preview mode, Apple Y, you'll see that it is a three-dimensional object, extruded and everything. Okay, not exactly what I would use for this particular assignment, but some clients might like it. It's totally up to you. I don't think it fits, but that's just me. So I'm going to get rid of this for right now, and I'm going to take this and move that back over. Now, if all this was on white, that would look pretty cool, right? It's not bad, just all on white. That's kind of nice. But we're not doing white right now. So here we go. We're going to center this back up. Be a rock star, get a Washburn. Now, it rocks. We're going to bring this into Photoshop. So I'm just going to copy this sucker, and I'm going to go to Photoshop. And I'm going to go right in here, and I'm going to close all my layers, and I'm going to actually group my effects that I have together. And I'm going to just keep everything nice and clean. So then when I paste this, and notice I'm going to paste this, I can paste this as a shape layer, I can paste it as pixels, depends what you want to do with it. I usually like to paste it as a shape layer right off the bat. Why? Because then I can edit it and I have a master to go from, and I can create pixelized versions of the shape layer. I don't have to go back and forth and copy and paste. So I can actually go Apple H and hide the lines of all this vector artwork, right? So this is kind of how it is right now. Now I can change the color quickly. Okay, depending on what I want. Okay, we're gonna actually, I want to choose a yellow right now just to see how this looks. Okay, cool effect coming up. Gonna do one yellow. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna change this to green. Okay, now I'm going to add a layer mask on this particular one. Okay, on the green layer, I'm going to go to my gradient tool, which is right there, and I am going to draw a gradient. Okay, make sure I've got black on top, and I'm just going to take a peek and see how this looks. Well, that's nice, huh? Bring that up just so, and really what I'm doing is I'm just adjusting the gradient. Now I can go in actually, so there's my color, there's the actual vector artwork, and right in the middle there's the mask. Okay, so if I was to turn this off, then of course it just reveals this underneath. Now the nice reason I do this is because instead of, you know, doing an actual, you know, fill layer and stuff like that, I can go in and I can just change the colors really quick. And I can mess with this and get exactly what I want when I want it right away. Instant gratification kind of stuff, right? Which is what it's all about. So anyway, and I can modify that to my heart's content. Okay. Alright, so what I can do, I'm going to take these guys, I'm going to group them. I can turn them off and on, and notice with the groups I can actually apply layer styles so that I can multiply this entire thing. I can darken it. I can do a vivid light. Starting to get somewhere. Okay, I can do luminosity. And all of these behaviors, you know, layer behaviors or layer styles behave differently on every application you do because they all are dependent, except for normal, on the layers below it. So you could have, you're going to have an infinite amount of different styles and different looks because it all depends on what is below. Okay, all these kind of cool effects. Soft light, blah blah blah, overlay. We're going to go back up to pass through just because we're going to leave it as such. So now we have our gradient. Say we want to leave it like that. Okay, so this is our master. Okay, I'm actually going to call it master words. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to rasterize this stuff, but we're going to duplicate this group. Okay, because we don't want to mess with the master group. So we're going to duplicate it. Sure, we'll call it OK. Now we're going to turn this layer off, the master words, so you can always go back to it, and we are going to pretty much merge these two together. Okay, actually we're going to rasterize these two. So we're going to select these guys. We're going to go under layer, rasterize. Rasterize layers. Pow, done. Now we're going to take these and we're going to merge them together. So now I got one layer, okay? But I still have my master words down here, just in case I want to make any changes later on. Right, so now we got this cool layer. Now, we can duplicate this layer. Say I want to give like the impression of speed or something like that. I'm going to take one of these duplicates, probably at the bottom, and I'm going to filter. I'm going to go to blur. I'm going to go to, let's say, radial blur, for example, do a zoom effect. Okay, and say we're just going to do like draft quality just to show you guys. Spin, zoom, we're going to do zoom. I'm going to zoom this a bit, and you'll notice the more I move the slider, the higher zoom it does get. It does get quite a bit. I'm just going to go 36, going to go OK. And it's doing its thing, because this is at high res. This is at 300 dpi. Pow. There you go. Doesn't that look better already? Better than just plain old it rocks? Giving some depth, giving some energy to your typography. So, pow. Now we got this kind of cool stuff going on. And you'll notice it's all kind of noisy through here. That's because it was